Welcome to SVG-TV's evening news and sports for this full moon Friday, October 18th evening. It's a bright one out tonight. I'm Carol Cato and these are the details. Local Cultural Officer Anthony Tibbles is urging artists and other persons in the creative industry to develop their hobbies into operational businesses. Speaking at the OECS Export Development Unit National Training Workshop for the Creative Industries, Tibbles said a lot of artists don't take the time to enhance their hobbies in a professional manner so that their craft can be taken seriously.
It is good that we are doing something that we enjoy. I am hoping that your interest in the creative industry, the various sectors that you represents you doing something that you love. But you have to do it in such a way that it generates not just an addition to the income streams that you have, but that it is operated as a professional business.
Tibbles said oftentimes he's faced with difficulties in the creative sector where the Ministry of Finance does not know artists and their work.
Country, the creative sector is gobbled up in a number of other areas. But secondly, too many of us in the creative sector do not show up on the tax rolls as working in the creative sector. We need to organize ourselves as enterprises, as businesses, and we need to do a certain formal operation and a certain seriousness.
Meanwhile, attendees at the 2013 workshop were told that it will be geared towards moving from art to enterprise without losing the art. Workshop facilitator Dr. Joanne Tull said the participants will be urged to improve their work without losing the originality. She said that without creativity, the workshop's aim to develop human capacities will be null and void.
One of our great writers in the region said, and he wrote it in an article as a matter of fact, how can I make my art and eat? And it's a critical question to ask if you want to develop those platforms for moving forward, for becoming sustainable, for making your art an enterprise. So that I'm saying that creativity remains critical to all of this.
Meanwhile, Business Development Officer Sobers Esprit says he has taken note of the extremely high level of talents in SVG and the region on a whole that can compete globally.
We recognize that for us to compete globally, that we have to produce goods and services of a very high quality. Because as we know, that the creative industry sector globally is a major sector, generating billions of dollars in foreign exchange and creating millions of jobs. We think that the OECS possesses the kinds of talent, the kinds of resources that should enable us to take a bigger slice of that cake globally.
Vincentians are being encouraged to read, think and grow as the second annual literary fair opened officially yesterday here at the UWI the University of the West Indies UWI Open Campus. The fair, which is a collaborative effort of the UWI Open Campus and the Vincentian Association of Artists, Writers and Producers, will run until October 20th. Head of the campus, Deborah Dalrymple, says the event is a community affair with representatives from booksellers, publishers and the Ministry of Culture showcasing literary materials.
We continue to build on our tradition of exposing Vincentian talent in the visual and performing arts. Artists and artisans have been invited to showcase their productions. Opportunities are also being provided for dancers, musicians and singers to participate.
Dalrymple further outlined some of the activities that will be held over the weekend at the literary fair.
Book signings by Vincentian authors will continue over the period of the fair, and a book launch by our Caribbean colleague, Mr. Dorbreen Omad, will take place at 12:30 on Saturday 19th. I invite you all to the activities of the fair.
The St. Vincent Brewery Limited is now the distributor of the premium beer Budweiser. At a media launch of the product to the local market, which was held last evening at the Bookament Bay Resort, the parent company of the St. Vincent Brewery, Ambev, is a subsidiary of the owner of the Budweiser brand, InBev. Regional Commercial Manager of the St. Vincent Brewery Limited, Shafia London, says that given the success of the local beer, it was time that they had an internationally known premium brand that Vincentians can relate to. And Budweiser seems to be the natural choice.
Budweiser is known as the king of beers. It was first introduced in 1876 and it is brewed with the highest quality standards. It is a medium-bodied, flavorful, crisp American lager. It is an icon of core American ideals like optimism and celebration.
London says in the coming months, the Budweiser brand will be associated with a number of local and regional events, including the upcoming concert in Barbados by internationally renowned performing artist Rihanna, who is the face of Budweiser. Several Vincentians have been selected to attend the concert, with all expenses paid for under the Budweiser brand. Yesterday saw 415 students being presented with scholarships from the Republic of China and Taiwan. The students received their checks at a ceremony held at the Peace Memorial Hall, where Chief Education Officer Luann Gilchrist said the financial contribution is meant to support the attendance of children in school.
The 187 primary school students who will receive financial support will receive a total each of $400. 169 secondary school students will each receive support in the amount of $800, and 59 post-secondary school students will receive support in the sum of $1,000.
Gilchrist noted that the government has developed several social safety nets to support students' attendance at school, with the objective of no child being left behind.
The secondary school students, you will be aware that there is a subsidized transportation system. There is also the book loan scheme, the book loan plan, really. Now, I'm urging parents to make full use of the book loan scheme. You will not get all of the texts. The literature texts specifically are not part of that scheme because the texts vary from school to school based on the CXC reading list. Now, I know that we encounter certain problems in terms of the buses and in terms of the availability of some texts, but please bear this in mind, that the facilities exist and that you are to make maximum use of these facilities.
On Wednesday, World Food Day, the Mustique Primary School held its first ever food exhibition. The exhibition was held under the theme, Eat Local, Buy Local, Grow Local. According to coordinator of the exhibition, Patsy Holder, the objectives were to encourage residents on Mustique to buy and eat what is produced locally and to give support to the farmers in their quest to produce enough food for local consumption and export.
Too often, all of us as Vincentians, we believe that things we import into our country are far more important or superior than the things that we produce locally for our own consumption. This is not always the case. And by the way, of this mini exhibition that we are having here today, we want to showcase that what we produce are just as nutritious as the things that we import from overseas. We are able to convince you to eat local. Our farmers will be smiling every day. They will be happy because they will be able to make more money.
Speaking on the importance of eating healthy and meeting the Millennium Development Goal of Zero Hunger, head teacher of the Mustique Primary School, Henry Peters, said that in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, it is not just good enough to produce food and generate income.
Food system, from inputs and production to processing, storage, transporting to consumption, can contribute more to eradicate malnutrition. Many people around the world think that hunger is about too little food and too many people. Our planet, with a population of about 6 billion, produces each enough food to feed every man, woman, and child. Hunger is about power. and its roots lie in the inequalities in access to resources. And right now, the people who grow the food, the poor farmers, do not have access to the resources they need to thrive.
The stage is said to be set for the finals of the 15th edition of the Rotaract Spelling Bee competition tomorrow. The preliminary round of the competition wrapped up earlier this week and saw participation from 66 primary schools competing in 8 zones. At tomorrow's finals, to be held at the French's House, 8 students will represent their schools, vying for the title of top speller, as well as a wide range of prizes including a trophy, a laptop and 6 months free internet service, books, gift packs and other prizes. The students who earned their places in the finals are Kosem Millington of the Layou Government School, Jaden Delplesh of the Rose Hall Government, Tayana Williams of Brighton Methodist, Aldea Jacobs of the Union Methodist, Zaida Davis of the Mariquah Government, Rihanna James of the Lodge Village Government, Derlona Samuel of the Langley Park Government School, and Anjali John of the Stephanie Brown Primary. Jenny John of the St. Mary's Roman Catholic was the winner of the 2012 edition of the competition.